welcome. Again, this is Akai coming to you with another one. And I just want to wish all of you a grand rising. I want to wish you prosperity, a great day. And today we're going to briefly talk about what is appropriate discipline of a child. Now, why would I discuss this? Well, I told you in early videos that obviously, I had retired out of the field of social work and so, I have a master's degree in social work. And so I did that for many, many, many years. I work, especially because of today's topic. I also, part of my time that I did in social work, I made sure that I worked in foster care as well as children's protective services. So I was a CPS investigator and I had to investigate all types of people. So I'm very familiar with this information, considering that I had to actually do that for a living for part of my professional career. So, types of discipline. This is a good topic. I'm sure. Listen, as a parent, I had my way of disciplining my daughter. All of you have ways that you discipline your children, and let's be real. Let's be real about it. Sometimes you had to, they say, you had to lay hands on them. Like, let me lay hands on you since you so disobedient. You need your mama and your daddy to lay hands on you. And sometimes they going like this because you trying to shake some sense into them. But listen. I'm gonna be real clear about this. A, let's make sure that everyone utilizes alternate forms of discipline as best as they can. Okay? Now, types of discipline. Okay? Timeouts. Let's talk about timeouts. I don't really need to explain that to you guys because you guys are very intelligent. I know everyone that watches my channel, whether you're subscribed to it or not, I know that you have intelligence and you know what a timeout is. Okay? That's like telling your kid, hey, go sit in the corner. My mom used to do that to me when I was little. Hey, go sit your little butt in the corner since you're not listening. Okay? And that gives the child a time to slow down, sit down, and think, and it burns them up, just like being put on punishment. When I was coming up, I'd rather get a whooping than get put on punishment because I could go outside with my boys and hang out and run the streets and play and stuff. And if I got a whooping, I cry a little bit like, okay, all right, let me go and keep doing what I was doing, But when you get put on pun, like my cousin used to say, you on the pun again? I'm like, I'm on the pun again, it was worse. It hurt worse. Because your pride got hurt. You lost control. Your parents or parent took control from you and told you that you're gonna be on punishment. Ooh, I hated that. So, but use that because it works. It works, believe me. Instead of you putting your hands on your child, do that. Oh, it hurts. Build good communication between you and your daughter or your son or just your children if you have, more than one. Do that, because it's going to save you time in the future when you've actually built up that relationship with them. That means that they're going to trust you. That means, like when I was coming up, I actually felt like I could actually talk to my mother and my father. My parents were married. I grew up in a house with both my parents. So I don't know anything different. And so they told me, hey, you can always come talk to us because we rather you talk to us than talk to them crazy, you know what I'm saying, in the streets. They didn't want me talking to them other folk. They wanted me to bring it home. If something happened in school or something like that, they wanted me to bring it home. Like, bring it home. Something happened in the street, bring it home. Bring it home. Yeah. And my daddy especially wanted that, considering that he grew up in the projects. You know, he's like, oh, I know what's going on in the street. So tell me. And I dug that like a shovel. Okay? Because we have to build trust where and the main thing, advice that I have for all of you, especially if you're young parents, is when your children get bigger and they really start talking and really start, you know, being out there, you want to make sure that there's an open door policy. Don't ever let them feel like they can't talk to you. Don't do that. That would be my advice to you. Parent to parent, even though my daughter is going on 27 years old, you know, in July she'll be 27. That's my baby, you know. But I always encouraged her to make sure that she talked to dad. Okay. So at any rate, and I talked about taking away privileges. Now let's talk about CPS and foster care, the social work viewpoint. I kind of touched upon that. And the thing is that use nonviolent methods of discipline. Because if you use your intellect and go here and here, and really think, there's a lot of different methodologies that you can use in order to discipline your child where you don't even have to put your hands on them. I told you, it hurts more when you don't put your hands on them than when you do put your hands on them. Because when you don't put your hands on them and they can't do anything, that makes it, you know, and that's the thing. Those are the type of skills that when I was in the social work field, you know, those are a lot of things that we recommended. Okay. If you do hit a child, now I'm going to tell you what I used to tell people when I used to be an investigator. I said, look, we know that 9 times out of 10, y'all periodically hit your child. The best advice that when I used to be an investigator that I used to tell people and other investigators used to tell people is you need to be like a magician where, you know, just like move your hand fast enough so that, you know, you put the candle out of the fire, the fire out of the candle, whatever, and the fire is gone. Okay, the candle's no longer lit. Like Kung Fu, how strong is your Kung Fu? Are you able to touch that child and not leave a mark? Because if you leave a mark, then you force the system's hand. But if you don't leave a mark, then we're just talking about a little education. And then CPS goes away. Okay? All right. So, you know, I hope all of you enjoyed this discussion. I just thought to just bring it up. You know, I think of different topics. And one thing I want to ask you all is that if there are certain topics that from you watching my videos where they're similar to what I generally would talk about, okay, because I tend to stay in the same lane. I'm not all over the place. And you say, yeah, but I would really like it for you to discuss this. Can you make a video on this? Can you make a video on that, Akai? Just say something put it in the comment section and say, you know, I would really appreciate it if you could discuss this, because what you said your background was at one time when you were still in the field. I would really like you to discuss this. Do that. I want to hear from you. So anyways, I want all of you to have a wonderful day. Great grand rising, everyone. And just go out and be fruitful this week. That's what I want you to do. Okay? Much love to all of you. Okay? All right. Akai out.